A slumber party.
Welcome to today's Build in Public podcast. And if you're new to the podcast, first and foremost, I just want to thank you for joining. Welcome. I'm Stacey Gonzalez, and this is a Build in Public podcast where we talk about the company that I'm building. I'm building two, but the one I mostly talk about is this one called Soul Growth with my business partner, Renee Devore, who is also here with me live today.
Hi, everyone.
And so we are podcasting from our pajama party. And that's true. And so maybe it's a nice moment tonight to share the founder's journey or origin story, if you will, of how Renee and I met and how in 4 months later, we are now having our first pajama party at Renee's house. So maybe we'll tell our story. What do you think about that?
Go for it, yeah.
Okay. So Renee had reached out to me on LinkedIn in
May of 2021.
May of 2021. That's right. And I ignored her.
No, May of 2022. Yeah.
Oh, 2022. Well,
She ignored me.
I did ignore her. And then, did you reach out again?
I did. I reached out again. So we had moved from Vermont to Chicago in July, and I was still looking for people to connect with, and I couldn't understand why Stacey Gonzalez, who had left education and was successful transitioning out, would not get back to me. And so I don't do this very often, but I thought that I would try again in October and reached out to her again. And then I heard from her in December.
Yeah.
2 months later.
That's right. And so I got fired from a sales job, and I thought I should probably go through my LinkedIn and like refresh this and update this. And then I found this one. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these connection requests that have been sitting here for months. And I had hundreds of them. And so I found Renee's and I responded like, hey, sorry for the delay. I mean, I did apologize.
You did.
I did. And we jumped on a call that next week. And as we were chatting, I'm like, oh, okay, I feel like she's kind of cool. Like she's passed the telephone test. I mean, it's true. Yeah. It's true. And so we decided to meet at a little local tequila bar by our house for a drink and just get to know each other. And so it was a nice enough conversation. There was a little bit of business talk, but nothing, like we weren't necessarily thinking we were going to be in business together. Were you thinking that? No. Well, you never thought you'd have a business.
That's later on in the story.
She never thought she was going to have a business. And I had told her in that conversation, I'm like, yeah, I tried to have a couple business partnerships. They didn't work out. And so now I'm looking for my next thing. I want to be a number one hire, a first hire with startups who have gotten their first round of funding. And so when I came back from the holidays and vacation, because it was like Christmas time, Renee had texted me and again, because she wanted me this whole time. And we ended up, I texted her back and I said, hey, my husband's on the couch with a man cold. And if we were friends like that, I would invite myself over to your house because she literally lives 3 miles from my house and the place in the community where I grew up for 35 years. And she's like a nomad who's been all over the country, lived on the West Coast, lived on the East Coast, lived in Mexico. And the universe just dropped her into my backyard. And so I'm like, hey, can I come hang out at your place? She's like, sure, come over. I've got wine. And I walked into her house and I was like, who even lives like this? Is Joanna Gaines here? How are things so cute and perfect and decorated with matching things? Things that you would not put together naturally, but when you put them together, they look super cute. And so I just felt really at home. Obviously, I like your home. Yeah. I'm here now in my pajamas. Yeah. And then what were we doing? Oh, we were drinking wine because wine is definitely most necessary. And I saw this little soul growth card that she had that said, you handed it to me. You said, I'm passing this out with this Etsy t-shirt shop called Soul Growth. And I'm giving this to women for like I want to give them what I would love. And I'm like, I love this soul growth. This is the business. We can make this into business.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That's totally what happened.
And then the next day, that night, we planned the next Friday or something to have our first business meeting, January 19th, I think.
Yeah, January 19th is when it all went down, the first business meeting.
And so today is April 19th.
Oh my gosh, it is.
It's our 4-month anniversary.
It's our 4-month anniversary.
That's so exciting. And so we have just been figuring it out as we go. Literally.
Yeah.
And following our heart.
Yeah.
And watching what unfolds before us.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing about soul growth that after 4 months of talking about it and trying to get clear on what it is and what we do and who we serve and how we do it and all the millions of questions that when you are supposed to like have a go-to-market plan. And I think for us, it's really about doing business differently and trusting that things will unfold exactly as they should and the timing that they should. And like, we're broker than we've ever been. I've shared this a lot on this podcast, but I feel more calm and confident and have inner peace more than I ever have.
Ditto.
And so this soul growth journey is that. It's a journey. We invite you to be a part of the journey. We're starting Soul Growth Sundays, which is going to be a virtual community for women who want to connect with their heart and soul and do business differently. And we're just really thankful that you're on this journey with us. If you're listening to this, we invite you to join us, and we look forward to getting to know you. Do you want to say anything before we go?
No, thank you for being a part of Soul Growth.
Yay.